Okay, guys. So shall we start with the execution part of that script? Okay. Now, first let's up the VM. Okay. So we need to first start the VM because inside the sorry, inside the VM only we are going to install the Python. Python should be there, but the three should be there. Then we have to install the Ruby and shell is already there. Okay. So if you have to go to the SharePoint site, okay, so go to the Microsoft SharePoint site, the training URL, okay, sharepoint.com/sites training, and then you click the Linux book in this place. You have the Linux book, so click the Linux book. So in the Linux book, you have the prerequisite here. So click the prerequisite. So inside that, in the bottom, you have the VM startup commands. Okay, so I think here. Okay, so build Ubuntu 1804 virtual machine like that and all. Okay, so you have to start the VM. We have done this practice for so many times, so I don't need to waste so much time here. Okay, so copy. So I'm going to start up my my VM. So this is my terminal. I clear my screen. So cd opt kickstart Linux. And today I think we may need 3 sessions if I'm not wrong. Okay, so we have to open that. Copy, drag it out, and sudo I need to add up. Up your VM. Sorry, up your VM. So the VM is now running. Okay, so VM is now up. And then we have to SSH to the VM. We need to have 3 SSH connections today because of certain reasons. So just try to have 3 SSH connections. So you can copy the command from here also if you want. Don't copy, right? Don't copy. And SSH. So 1 SSH, and then we need to have the 2 SSH, and then we need to have 3 SSH. Okay, so that's very important. So the second SSH. Because we run the script in 3 terminals, Ruby, Python, Shell, parallelly. So you get to know what it is outputting. That is why. Okay, 1, 2, and then 3. I will go slowly, step by step, in building the script. Okay, so so this is the first SSH session, and I have the second one. I have the third one. So I have to probably clear up all that output and make sure. Mhm. Clear 1, 2, 3. Okay. So ensure that you have 3 terminals SSH and 1 odd terminal. Okay, 1 terminal to the host. That's also needed. Okay, 1 terminal to the host and 3 SSH terminals. So altogether 4 terminals we need to have. In your case, Windows case, 1 Git Bash terminal and then other 3 Git Bash terminals SSH to the VM. Okay. Okay, because we write code with the Sublime text editor, which is in the host machine. It's not in the VM. Okay, so we are now going to create a directory. Now forget about the VM. Okay, the code is not in the VM. Okay, we are not going to code inside the VM. So I'm going to go to my home directory. Okay, you guys also run the cd tilde slash in the first terminal inside, not inside the VM. Please listen carefully, not inside the VM. In your standard git bash terminal, once you click git bash and it will load, right? In that run cd tilde slash, which is to ensure that you are in the home directory, and run this command, make directory, let's say script, okay, script, okay, and then I'll put all these commands, okay, I'll put all these commands in the chat, okay, system hyphen metric dot py, okay, and then system metric dot ruby, system metric dot shell, okay, so just run this in your git bash. In your git bash, you need to do this. Okay, in your git bash, you need to do all these commands. And as a result of that, what you will get is you will get a, you'll get something like this. a script directory, and in the directory you have a Python file, you have a Ruby file, you have a you have a shell script file. So three files you generally have in that. Okay, three command may not work mostly for you. You need to try it with the ls script like that. Okay, so it will be like this. Three files should be there in your kit bash terminal, not inside Windows. Okay. Now, we are going to execute the script inside the VM, but we are going to code inside the host machine because that's where you have the Sublime kind of native IDs and all that kind of things is there. Okay. Now, what first we are going to learn is we are going to learn how to use Sublime text editor. I'm going slow only. Okay. You now have three. We're going to open this script directory. Maybe it's a project directory or something in the Sublime text editor. Okay. As I told, we are going to install the Sublime text editor. Maybe in the beginning itself we should have installed. I don't know whether we've installed or not. Okay. So you can see here, this is how it looks. Okay, this is the Sublime text editor. Maybe I think I should close our project. Okay, this is the Sublime text editor. It is a very famous editor in the Mac users generally use that more. So, and then it's a very simple, lightweight editor. Okay, go to this link. I think in this link, I think you will have the chat. The link has come. For Windows, you can see here. Okay, in the top itself, if you click for the Windows, I think you will get the Sublime and install the Sublime. Okay, and so this is the Sublime. So once you download it, you need to double click and install it. Okay, so once after you install that Sublime editor, what will happen is that you will get something like this. Okay, you can open it. So that symbol will come like orange color, yes, kind of thing will come. So you can click and open it like this. Okay, Sai Kumar, can you share your screen? I just want to see how that looks. Okay. How did you? Okay, open. Okay. Everyone, please listen carefully. We need to load that file into the Sublime text editor. Okay. So this is a plain Sublime text editor. First time he's installed it. Okay. So can you click the project on the top menu? Okay. And in the project, we need to click add folder to project. In the bottom, you have a link. User, what's that one? C user. Yeah. C user, username.
No, in this case, for him, it's Dell, and just scroll down, you will be seeing the script folder. On the down fourth one. Yes.
Click that script folder and open. Script folder and select folder. Now, can you go to the Sublime? Okay, those three files are there. Okay, so everyone, please open that. I think Eliezer also put the path, so you can find that under the users, C:users. What is that? Username, and then there's a script folder. When you click that and open it here like this, you will see the three files: systemmetric.py, ruby.py, and then .sh files. Three files you can see here. Okay, guys, I'm now sharing my screen. So, so now I think we have the. So we have the three files. If you see here, I have the script file, script directory, and I have the metric.py file, metric.rb, and sh file. So we have created the three files and a directory, and that is in my host machine. Okay. First thing is, we write the code in the Sublime, but that is in the host, but we need to sync the code inside the VM. Okay. So in order to first, before getting into the sync process and all that, we need to customize the Sublime editor. Okay. If you see here, this is my Sublime. Okay. I'm clicking the project, add folder to project, and in that I have which one? Home, right? Home script. This one. I'm just opening it. This. Okay. So I also have opened this thing here. Okay. So before writing any piece of code, okay, before writing any piece of code, it is always very important to check and see what is your editor configuration. When you set to write the code, the very important thing about writing code is we need to have proper indentations and alignments and spacings and tabs configured properly, so the code will have proper scoping structure. Okay. So if you see here in my preferences, this is my preferences. You can check your preferences. Okay. In this, there are two important things that we have to look into. Okay. I will just click on my preferences. You can see that in my preferences, I have my tab size is 2, and then I have my translate tabs to spaces is 2. So two things I have. Okay. Other things you forget about it. That's not needed. But these two things you have to set it inside this preferences. Okay. For now, I just copy this thing and I will put this in the chat. Okay. Not all things are needed, but I would like to put this in the chat. Okay. So you don't need all these things, but at least you need font size is okay. Again, all is not needed. Okay. Just take this output. Again, coming back. So here we are now configuring the editor. Okay. So I will close this one. Where is that one? Close. Okay. So you can see preferences in the top project, next project. You have preferences. In the preferences, you have settings, simple settings. And then here in the right side, you have a pane. Preferences. Here you need to paste to that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is, I have slightly customized it for our own use case, but you don't need to do all that. You just put what is in the chat, that is enough. Once you put it, you need to say Control S to save. Okay. Control S to save, and then you just need to close this one. Close means you can close this file like this, so it will be closed. Okay. So only your script will be there. This is how it looks. Okay. So basically, you should have a script directory, and the script directory you have the metric.py file, metric.rb, metric.sh. So 3 files available there. So we have first now created this structure. So we created a directory, we created scripts, and then in the host machine itself, and then we now opened the files in the, that maybe what we call as code files in the project, Sublime editor. Okay. So now we are going to not do anything with this first of all. Now we have to go to the VM. Okay, we have now go to the VM. Okay, so inside the VM. So you see here, maybe take the first terminal inside the VM. Now we have to be very careful. When I say inside the VM means we have to run certain commands inside the VM. So you have to be cautious. Okay, so should not put in the wrong place. It won't work. So inside the VM, we are now going to type the Ruby's interactive console. Okay, which is called as IRB. Okay, IRB. Okay. So type IRB and hit enter. Okay. So you may find in my case, it is going into something like this. Okay. So IRB means Ruby's interactive console. So every time you start programming, the first step is to learn interactive console. Then only you go to the script and write something there. Okay. So first open the Ruby's interactive console. So when you get that error, practically what we will do, Ruby is not installed, we have to install it. So in order to install that, what we need to do is you need to run this command sudo apt install Ruby. It will install the Ruby 2.5 interpreter. Okay, I put the command in the chat. You can also type it sudo apt install Ruby. It will install the Ruby's 2.5 interpreter. Okay, and it's just complete, and then open the interactive console. Ruby hyphen version. Is that correct? So Ruby hyphen version. Okay, when you run Ruby hyphen version, you get to basically this is 2018 release. It's something 6 now. It's Ruby 4. Okay, 1.18.04 provides the old package of Ruby 2.5. Okay, so it's now 3.5 or something. Okay, so you can get it here. Okay, so in the first terminal you should find this version. So terminal. If you see in the next console, we have in the VM we have one terminal. I'm now just checking with the Ruby, and there is another terminal. You can see we have 3 SSH connections open. I told in the beginning. So here we need to open the Python's interactive console, which will be like Python -i. Okay, so not this one. So you need to have Python 3. Python 3, don't use Python, it will go to the Python 2.7. So use Python 3. So this is the Python's 3.6.9 interactive console. In the first tab, after you run the Ruby version, if Ruby is installed, you need to open the Ruby interactive console. That is this. Okay, one, two, two things. One is one terminal, you have Ruby Interactive Console. The other terminal, you have Python Interactive Console. Okay. What we are going to do is we are going to now test. Okay, simple test. First, every time when you get into a programming language very newly, sometimes it's required that you learn how to basically print something at least. So that gives you some kind of understanding how that looks. Okay. Now you can't go and directly write a script like this. Okay. So we have to first go from the basics. Okay. Now let me go to the terminal. Okay. So in this second in my system, it's the second terminal where I have the IRB inside the VM loaded. So I'm going to just say save a variable. Okay. So what I'm going to save here is hi. Okay, equal to hello. Okay, or let's say getting started equal to hello world. Okay, something like that. You just type on your own. Okay, don't expect me. You type on your own. I also sometimes falter with the syntax. Okay, so let's say this is getting started, and this is a variable, simple variable. Okay, and we are now just storing something here in the variable. So that is a string, which is hello world. And what you try to do is you try to write print. Okay, to try to write the print. So what I'm going to do is in Python the print will be different. In Ruby the print will be different. So there are differences. Okay, it's not correct that always we keep in the mind. So in the Ruby, what is very important is you need to give the print like this. Okay, print. So what I'm going to say is getting, let's say getting underscore started. Okay, so you can see this print is a Ruby's built-in thing function, and you just need to say whatever text, whatever variable you want to print, you can find it here. Print hello world. Okay, the similar thing we have to do in the Python Interactive Console also. Okay, so go to the Python Interactive Console and do the same thing. Getting started. So you can understand the way how the interactive consoles list the output, and that's why I'm coming here. Okay, so there is no big serious other purpose than this. So getting started equal to same hello world. Okay, and then in Python the printing has to be like, it should be print that braces. Okay, so here the print is like print. This is like this. Getting started. Print. So Python's interactive console generally comes with three-headed arrows. Okay, so on this side, Ruby's interactive console generally comes with like this. Okay, IRB main like that. So every single thing that you run, it will be taken into a line. Okay, so and that will be interpreted like that. Okay, so this is the way how you can just see that you have a variable, you have some string value assigned to the variable, and now you are just printing the variable. That's all, nothing great in that. Okay, and this is how you get outputs in the Ruby. And in Ruby, you also have something called as puts. I think that's also one old way of doing it, but I'm just checking. Puts also is fine. Puts getting started, so that prints the value. Okay, so first try this one. You must first keep your fingers and type things and do things on your own. Then you get some, you get some connectivity with that topic. So we are now going to, okay, we'll come to this part maybe after some time. First, we need to know how to. This is the interactive console in which you actually write some small code kind of thing and executed this. Okay, so you do something and you get the output then and there. That is this. Okay, but what about scripting? So how the scripting works? You can't write this complete full-scale scripting here in the interactive console. Okay, interactive console is to just test something, run some ad hoc scripts. That's why interactive console is helpful. But if you want to have a proper scripting approach, what we need to do is we need to write the same thing in file. In the file, you can't always put things here like this. Okay, now whatever you have written here, okay, you just try to copy paste into the Sublime script. So I'm copying this. Okay, Ruby getting started, copy. Okay, and go to the Sublime text editor in the Ruby script. I'm going to paste it one, and then I'm going to print getting started. Just want to know how the interpreter executes. That's a console. This is a script file. Okay. So I'm just saving it here. Okay. Similarly, I want to have things in the here. Okay, what is that? Python. Okay, copy that one and go to the Python script file and put it here. What py means it's Python file, and then print getting started. Okay. So you see now I have Python script file, Ruby script file, and shell. I didn't put anything, by the way. Okay, there also we can do something like that. Okay, so that I will tell after some time. So just put it here. Okay, put it here and just press Control S, and then it will be saved. Okay, this is now a valid Python script, and this is now a valid Ruby script. Just to like when you start something, it's for the first time you start with absolute zero. Okay, this is a zero one. Okay, we are now saving it. Now what we are going to do is we are going to sync. Okay, so we're going to see how to execute it with the interpreter, not interactive console. Okay, this is interactive console where if you are learning something or if you want to test something, if you want to run ad hoc scripts or call ad hoc functions, you can do this. That's a use of the interactive console. But if you want to run it as a script, you need to make it as a file. Okay, now we have the files available in the host machine. You see, we have the file make directory script we have created. In that script file only, we have now pasted something in the Sublime. So that is in our host machine. You see, this is my host machine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy my scripts or sync or SCP my scripts to the Vagrant VM, because the interpreters are there inside the VM, not in the Windows host. Okay. So what we need to do is we have to copy this one. Okay. The scripts that you have written in the host machine, you can't have that access in Vagrant VM. So what we need to do is we need to have this script. Okay. So script directory. We need to copy this to the Vagrant inside the Vagrant VM. Okay. So this is the command. So this is the command for Ubuntu. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm using a Linux Ubuntu as my host machine. For Windows, you should not use the sudo. Okay. So I will modify the command first. I will test myself and I will give that. If you run it, it won't work. Okay. SCP, I think I need to SCP/star. Okay, fine. So that should be available. That should be enough for you. So you guys have to run this script like copy and putting it in the chat. Oh, sorry, pasting as the plain text. Okay. So just run this command in your git bash terminal. So don't run inside the VM. Okay, please listen carefully and run. Then only the sync will work. Okay. So when you run this script command in the git bash terminal, okay, so your scripts will sync to the Vagrant's home directory. Okay. So in the third terminal, in the last terminal, you can, when you type ls, you will be able to see the scripts here. System metric RB, system metric SS, system metric this, that, and all that. Okay. So you have the Python script, you have the Ruby script, you have the shell script. All these scripts now synced inside the VM. Okay. So that's the first thing that we have to see here. Okay. So if that SCP command properly worked, you will find the output like in the host machine. You will see this is syncing. Every time we update the code in the Sublime, we need to run this SCP command and sync it to the Vagrant and run it inside the VM. So you should see the output like this. If this is the output you are getting for the SCP, then I think it is right. So the next step is, so once it is synced, okay, the next step is if you in one Vagrant VM terminal, you can see we have the IRB loaded. In the other Vagrant VM terminal, you have the Python IRB, which are interactive console loaded. But there is one free terminal here. If you see here in that terminal, if you type ls, you will find all the three scripts visible here: the system metric, RB, system metric SS. So this is the way how you have to check. You are in the Vagrant. Every command that we run, we need to know where we are running and which directory path. You see, we are in the home directory. So I'm running it inside Vagrant at SloopStash. Okay, and which path I'm running it in my home directory. That means the tilde. Okay, so you see three files available here like this. So now after this, what we need to do is we need to go to the file. Okay, you see here we have the Python file, the Ruby file. So there is some content inside that. Okay, we should first try to execute that file. So first I'm going to invoke the Ruby interpreter. Okay, so Ruby space Ruby file is this systemmetric.rb. Okay, so run systemmetric.rb. So you will find something like printing hello world just to get started. Okay, so this is the Ruby's interpreter, and now we are providing the script file, that is systemmetric.rb. The one ends with the systemmetric.rb is the Ruby script. So this is the command. So it should print hello world. So in my understanding, okay, so that's what we have in the script file. Similarly, if you type Python 3, Python 3, okay, and type systemmetric.py, you should see it should print hello world. Okay, hello world, hello world. So the Ruby program is also printing something similar. Maybe we didn't have a line break, so it's printing like this. And the Python program is also doing something similar. It's a very clear, pretty print you get printed. So you now see what we actually executed in the interactive console. Now you can put all those things in a script file like this, and you can execute by directly invoking the interpreters here. Okay. So there are different ways of executing a Python program or a Ruby program like that. You use the interactive way or you use the script way, file way. So both things are the common standard things, but 99% of the time people write it in the file. Okay, only 5% or sometimes we may need to use the interactive console, not always. Okay, so this is the first step we have to realize. If we want to write big codes and all that, the first step is to understand how to use the interactive console and then the interpreter. Okay, directly executing. Now I will just try to go to the structure and then we try to slowly get started. Okay, so you see this is the structure we have provided. Okay, in this structure we said that we are going to start with something called as the shebang. Okay, shebang means you see for Ruby you have the shebang user in Ruby. For Python means you have the shebang that is here. It references the interpreter. Okay, shebang is not required in interactive console, but we are not going to focus interactive console today. Okay, so in the next given 30-40 minutes of time, I'm going to see how we can develop the script, okay, fairly. At least we need to reach some importing or at least access control level. So tomorrow we will work out the interpreter, interactive console more. Okay, so in order to start with the script, okay, the first line has to be the shebang. Okay, now go to the Sublime. Okay, go to the Sublime. So we need to close all these views which we have. Okay, you can see I've closed all the views. There is a 3-column view layout. If you see here, Sublime provides a 3-column layout. The layout columns 3 like this. Okay, view layout columns 3. Okay, so you can see 3-column layout like this. Okay, so you can open the Sublime. You can customize Sublime like this from the view layout 3-column. 3 columns. When you select that, you will see 3 columns literally. In the first column, I'm going to open the Python code. In the second column, I'm going to open the Ruby code. And the third column, I'm going to open the shell code. Okay, systemmetric.py, Ruby systemmetric sh. So then only you can do parallel coding and push sync and execute. Okay, you see now, this is how you can beautifully do it in the Ruby's Sublime's code editor. Okay, so first open the 3-column layout, load the Python script in the first column, and then click the second column and click the Ruby script. Load go to the third column and type the bash script is empty. So okay. Now I'm going to go to the visualization we have built. Okay, so I'm going to start writing my script. At least we have to have some progress today. Okay, so getting started with the shebang first. Okay, not interactive console. I'm going to focus on the script file. Okay, so interactive console we'll learn tomorrow again. Okay, so shebang. So what is the shebang for Python script? What's the shebang for? That's the line number 1. Usually 99%. Shebang is the 100%. Shebang is the line number 1. So how do I know what's where? How can I get the shebang? You see my screen. I will tell how to get the shebang information. Okay. So sometime back we ran the Python 3 script, and ran the Ruby script. So what you need to do is you do it yourself. Okay, type which Python 3. Okay, type which Ruby. So what did you get? You get the interpreters path, bin path. So binary executables. It's all bin programs. Okay. So you can find here Python 3 and Ruby's what? Interpreters binary executables. You need to copy the Ruby one to Ruby in the sublime. Okay. So this is the Ruby file. I'm going to put it on the first line. Okay. And by the way, you have to slowly come along with me. I'm going step by step phase, very slowly. I'm proceeding. Okay. And then I'm taking the Python 3's interpreter from binary executable from there, and I'm going to put it in this. Okay. So this is Python 3. This is Ruby 2.5. Okay. So in order to make that it is a C bang, okay, right C bang, what you do is you try to put hash and exclamatory mark like this. Okay, hash and exclamatory mark. So that it will be considered by the Linux kernel and the Unix kernel as a proper C bang. Okay, so you go here, also put hash, exclamatory, and then you see this is the proper Python C bang. Okay, here also. Okay, what about the shell script now in the final? In the shell script, it is also like that. Okay, how do you get the bash shells shebang information? You go to the terminal, type which bash. Okay, it's bin bash. It's the bash interpreter. Okay, shell. Okay, copy that and go to the sublime hash. Sorry, put it here. Bin bash. Before that, hash exclamatory. Is that hash exclamatory? Yeah, hash exclamatory. Okay. Now what we have done is we have now done a we have now done the what we have now done the shebang configuration. Okay. Shebang. Okay. So save all the places. Control S, click here, Control S, click here, Control S. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of using the shebang without knowing why we write it? Because of formality or something like that? No. Okay. Let's go to the terminal. Okay. Let's go to the terminal. Now, after installing the proper shebang, you go here into the first terminal where you did the SCP, right? Sometime back, the git bash terminal. Again, SCP. Every time you update the code, you need to sync the code to the what the Vagrant VM. Okay. Now again, I'm running that command. We are now syncing the script files. Okay, 3 files. It's now synced to the VM. Okay. So we now got the last terminal. So for first terminal, I am now syncing. So we need to come to that habit. Write the code, sync, and then go to the terminal and invoke it. That's all 3-step process. Okay. So now I am going to not tell this Python 3 or Ruby. I'm not going to call the interpreter in the shell. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just say dot slash system. What is that? Dot slash system metric dot file. So it's a file. One time back I told that you can execute a script like that. Okay, and then I'm going to execute the Ruby script. What did you see here? There is no executable permission. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, so I just go with the standard 755. Okay. And for system metric.rb. Okay. And then I'm going to go with the Python 755 and then for shell also 755. Okay. 755, 755, 755. Now you have to go to the shell. Okay. In this terminal inside the always be sure where I am running. In my first terminal, I am in the host machine actually. In the other 2-3 terminals, I am in the VM. Okay, so we need to know where I am running. Now I am going to execute this Python script. Okay, so copying and pasting. Now you can see this printing. Now I am going to execute the Ruby script. Copying. You can see this printing. Okay, so what is the difference? How does the system know that it is the Ruby script? How does the system know this is the Python script? how does the Linux machine actually knows how to invoke the right interpreter? Because I didn't give anything, because it doesn't matter if you store something as .py file or .rb file, it will be considered as a Ruby script. In Unix, Linux, there is no such thing. It's for our own understanding. We store it like that.
Based on the shutdown?
Yes, based on the CBang, what is happening is the system was able to load the right interpreter. That's the use of CBang. Now, how many of you understand what is CBang? CBang on the first line tells your Linux kernel to load the right interpreter and then execute the below script. You get the logic, right? It's not something, it's like a decorator on top of that script file. CBangs is to tell the Linux machine or the Linux kernel to load the right interpreter, okay, and then execute the script. That's why we put the CBang always on the line number 1. You get the point of first block we learned there. So this is the understanding of it. You're able to get it? So after this, okay, I go through the description, okay. After writing the CBang, what is very important in scripting is we need to have the description about the code, okay. Description in the sense it's something that which tells what's that code is all about. Okay, the code is basically like, it's like a first level documentation. Okay, so generally, if you see here in our Sublime, so we need to start with the next line. That is, we give generally one line break. We need to write it properly. Say it's in your own English, you can write. You don't, these things we don't need to copy and paste. So I'm going to write a text like managing, or so calculate um, system, um, calculate system metrics uh, such as load, memory, and storage. Okay, so that's what I'm just going to put, and we can have this common description made available all through this other things also. So it's a common thing. You see here, you can write whatever you want, but you need to always start it with hand hash. The hash means which is basically like it's not going to be passable. Okay, it's not going to be passed. So you can see here hash, and hash, and then you just put it here. So in the shell also. So the first line is always the shebang. You have to have it right. And then the second line is going to be like we have the description. So not the second line, the next block is going to be the description. So in all the code, make sure it is consistent. I mean, you can write things on your own. Okay, we don't need to always have this according to my own what I'm writing. So you can write things on your own English. Okay, so that's the description part. Okay, the first part is CBang, second part is the description part, and this is not going to be executable, so you don't need to sync it immediately now. Okay, so now the next step is, you can see we are now going to load or import some libraries or modules that is required. Okay, if you see here in the shell script, okay, we don't have anything to load, but if you go to the Python script, or if you go to specifically Python, okay, we have to load lots of system modules. Okay, so we need to load lots of system modules that is required to system modules and other modules required to implement this kind of a flow. Okay, so in order to load the modules, first we need to know what modules to be loaded. Okay, so basically if you go to um, uh, the next step, okay, in the interactive console, okay, in order to load something, so if you want to load a module in Python, so you have the interactive console, like in the terminal number 3, there is a thing called import. Okay, import, import. Okay, so if you want to let's say want to uh, know how to get the timestamp, current timestamp, you have to load the time module. Okay, so import time. So then hit enter. You will be able to see this import time module is loaded. It's all built-in modules only. Okay, not new. Okay, so go to the interpreter interactive console for Python 3. There is a third terminal number 3. There you just say import time and run time.time. It seems. I think time.time. Okay, so time.time is the will provide you the timestamp. I'm sorry, I just executed the modules. So what you need to try first is, if you want to get some functionality or ready-made or custom functions, so we need to do the import first. Okay. And if you once you do the import, you can call the functions within that imported modules. This is the imported module called time, and inside that we are invoking a function called time time. Okay. So basically it is now throwing the timestamp. So it's the Unix timestamp output. Okay. This is how, every time when you write a script, okay, the importing has to happen first, and then only you can use those functions which comes from the imported modules and the libraries. Okay. So first try this one in the interactive console. Okay. Say import time and then run time.time. Okay. I'll just try to put that in the shell, sorry, chat, so you don't have to get mistakes with that. Import time and then type time.time. Okay. So you should get a Unix timestamp as an output. Now you can understand why what is important. So the third phase of the third block of our script is always going to be the imports. Okay. So the import is going to be working like this. Whatever module in the Python you want to import, like this, if you want to import modules like system module, there is a module called SYS. Okay. There is a module called OS. So these are all the modules that we will generally use in the scripting. Okay. Suppose if there is any import you are trying to do and that module is not, suppose I'm going to do something like system. So it says that module is not there inside the Python. In the Python package list and all that, this module is not there. Okay, so you will get the no module found error, something like this, if the module is not there. But if the module is there, it will silently load like this. Okay, so this is the third level or the third block in the script which we are trying to write. Okay, so first try these things, and what I would like to recommend people is, first please understand this logic. We write the code in the host machine and using the Sublime. So what we are trying to do is, because tomorrow we have to construct the logics here. Okay, we can't keep on getting error with the SCP and all that again. So we are going to write the Sublime code editor in that, and we're going to save it like pressing Ctrl S, and immediately we will run the sync. Okay, that will sync here to the VM, and then we go to the VM and then we execute it just like this. So this is a process we need to practice. Okay, so putting stop with this thing.